Yeah, yesterday was a little funny.
This time with plugged-in audio cable, which I rocked or pulled even harder on this time.
Yeah, well, it was crazy because we went through like our whole system. Like we've been gone for 3 weeks. So first off, let's just keep the flow how it needs to go. I start off and say thank you for the support, for the follows. I'm like looking at the camera here. Yeah, if you enjoy this thing, subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to channel Lex Friedman here. Review it on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, support on Patreon, and connect with me on Twitter at Remington for real with the number 4. That's how I'm going to do it. That's what I look like. I shaved my face. I'm shaving my head. I'm just going to shave it all off. Be the next Joe Rogan in Pasewalk. Yeah, this next part is a funny little thing, so get ready for it. How do I reach my customers outside of the normal operating hours, you may ask yourself?
Very often.
Often, all the time. Well, how can I grow my customer base? ? And even if I know how to do these things as a sole proprietor, I don't have the time to take care of marketing as well. Well, guess what? Signal East, my company, can help you by complementing your business with digital selling channels, web shops, email marketing, Facebook, Instagram, image films, podcasting, and more. Yeah, we're committed to the success of small businesses. That's true. This is all true. That just like us needed a helping hand to get started and stay focused in the digital marketing space. For more details, follow the link in the description. Signal East, your partner for digitalization in 2021. What did you say? Digitalization?
Get the D.
Get the D.
Get your digitalization.
Yeah.
Step your game up.
If you need a little D, then just
call us.
Give us a call. And we got the digitalization. So we want. The thing is, we kind of want a little hiatus there for 3 weeks. We're gone. So in these 3 weeks, I went to the small half island of Rügen. It's in the Baltic Sea. It's on the Baltic Sea. Up in Rügen, there's lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, like, didn't we eat these tasty burgers there? Was it?
Yeah, that's true. They have really tasty burgers there. They're from. They have a place called Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
And in the bathroom, they have the Peter Pan plays. They have a audiobook.
The Nimmerland in German, is it? Where Peter Pan lives? Is it?
Yeah.
The
Nimmerland, and in English it's called Never Neverland.
Neverland.
Yeah.
Neverland.
That's a really good burger place. Yeah, it's funny because what Eric meant with the cable at the beginning is that basically we redid our whole studio. That's part of the reason why we're also gone. We did some cable management to like the extreme. Before we had just had like a rat's nest of cables.
Necessary.
Yeah, and so the thing is, like, I didn't really like it at all, but now that I know we're gonna start inviting some guests here and stuff, and it's like, well, if you want to have like a cool guest come in here and just be like, yeah, just look at this nest of cables there as you're talking to me. We got our shit together and we got all the cables. Like, you can't see it. You just see this, which is fine. But if you were to come into the studio and like underneath the table, there was just, it's crazy. Like as far as us not being audio engineers, and we had our friend Anna, my friend Anna on here, and we had this crazy thing with the sound too, like with
this distortion noise.
Yeah, every time we plugged in the USB from the Blackmagic, which is our audio, like our video switcher for the multiple cameras, it created this crossover sound that went right into the audio signal. And so as he was here, he kind of gave us this one idea for a device, but I ended up finding like this Furman power cleaner, and so we plugged all of our devices into this power cleaner, and it's somehow supposed to clean the power lines from all of these distortions.
It sets every level at the same voltage, or
I think it takes like all of that stuff and then then releases like a clean signal out. Like it takes all that crap in, because we plugged basically everything in. We daisy chained. It's pretty cool. I'm looking at it the whole time. You can't see it, but I have some pictures. I had some pictures, but anyway, it's cool if you're like geeking out on building a studio. You know, like we totally.
But it's the studio game, the appearance of the studio, and the
yeah, like when you come in here now, it's super clean, and it's not just what you see on the video here, but like the whole room is clean and nice, and it just gives you more room to think, and that's important. Then we played a little bit. We also finished building our computer. That was also like what?
Yeah, that took its time. Yeah.
Yeah, it took us a couple of days just to by the time we had everything here, we had to take all like the whole motherboard out and place it into a new bigger tower because our graphic card was too big for for this original tower that we had. And so we did all that and got that working, and then I played Cyberpunk on Twitch. So like obviously that's not a podcast. So when I stream like video games, I'm just gonna stream it directly on Twitch or on YouTube. But obviously it makes no sense for someone listening to be like, okay.
Of course, yeah.
So it's not a podcast in that sense. But that was kind of funny. And one of my our employee Anna, she watches sometimes, and so and she said, yeah. So I tuned into your thing when you were like checking out like your penis and stuff, you know, because there's this part on Cyberpunk when you like, if you don't know the game Cyberpunk, which I didn't know either, as you're creating your character at the beginning, you have to choose like what he looks like and stuff. Yeah. And it's the first game that I've ever played where you had to like
choose your genital size.
choose your junk. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you could choose like if it was circumcised or not. Like it was pretty down to it was down to the detail, dude. And then
I've seen people do crazy shit like building characters that look exactly like Thaddeus from SpongeBob or Mr. Krabs or Peter Griffin or Bob Ross.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So
just spending like hours. Well, actually, so that was the question that Anna had. She's like, well, what is it then? Like, what's the point of that? You know, do you think there's going to be some part of the game where you get stripped naked and they're going to beat you up or something or some crazy shit?
I guess we have to find out.
I guess I'd find out. I played it a little bit. I realized that I have to practice a lot more. And especially when you stream a game, it's kind of like if you stream it, then you know what you're doing. And I didn't know what I was doing. So,
if someone watches over your shoulder the whole time, it's sometimes a bit tricky. I always
well, I mean, the hand-eye coordination is just a thing you get used to. Like, you know, having
that's training.
Yeah, and
the aiming
and like the A, W, D, and then S on the keyboard is like your up, down, left, right, back. Which I remember that from playing. I played Hitman. Yeah, that was the game. And then your eyes, your head, and your swivel is your mouse, right? Your mouse is too big for me for some reason. It's too clunky for me.
Clunky boy.
Yeah, I like a little smaller mouse, but I don't know if that mouse. Like,
it's a bit heavy.
Yeah, I used to have this from it was like an octopus company. It had like these.
Kraken.
Yeah.
Razer.
I had a Razer. Yeah.
The Razer Kraken was their headset that was called like that. Razer is a good brand,
yeah. But before we go too far, I just want to say, if you're listening out there, the person that reached out to me on Instagram and said that her boyfriend is from Canada and he's German, this episode's for you, or half German. He's got a dual citizenship. I thought that was so cool that you reached out to me and said, I listened to your podcast. That's just each person that reaches out and says that, it's for me like, I'm going to do this episode for you. It also combines with me too in an interesting way because it gives me a chance to refresh my like the information and the laws surrounding my citizenship.
The law surrounding my
like there's a lot of stuff going on. So and because the audio cable, like to come back just to full circle, because the audio cable was out and we did an 1.5-hour episode, I'm gonna try and because we had to redo the episode now. This is a redo. And so I'm hoping there's two advantages out of that right now. The first advantage is the things that I wasn't able to link to, or the things that I wasn't able to find that I would have had to put in the show notes. I did the homework, and now we have the direct link. So the two things that I didn't really know, what I was trying to say. Or I didn't like. I was trying to find this one thing about the. Now I have to look at it because I want to pronounce it correctly. Hedonic. Oh, it's gone again.
The tricky word.
It's a treadmill. It's called the Hedonic Treadmill. And now, of course, after I say that, it's gone again.
Sometimes it's like that.
No, I know it now though. It's called the Hedonic, that was the word. Hedonic Treadmill. So we're going to talk about the Hedonic Treadmill a little bit. That's part of something that I've been going through. But the main thing we're going to talk about is coming to Germany, because she reached out. She likes the podcast because she's thinking about herself with her boyfriend about moving to Germany. As I told my wife that, she's like, why would anyone want to come to Germany? And I think that's so funny that Germans think that, you know?
Oh, a bit of the pride for the country is I guess in this regard to say to have people welcome here. I don't know. Maybe it's this German mentality of, we aren't that good. We just doing our stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe with Franzi in that moment, why she says that. We have a great life. She loves it here.
Yeah,
I think she was just like me too. Like when we first got together and we first came out to Germany, our plan was to go to Spain. And so it was like, okay, we're going to come here, work, save some money, and then take off to Spain. And I literally I probably hung on to that for a good, almost 2 years, thinking okay, eventually,
So
13 years later.
I could not imagine myself as an American coming to Pasewalk, but Germany is.
Yeah, maybe that's what she's thinking, Pasewalk.
Yeah, if you were at this spot, you couldn't quite understand why from Cali to PD City.
Yeah, I think that's true. Obviously, if you are coming to Germany, you're probably not going to end up in Pasewalk, even though there's 2 Americans here. There's 3 actually.
That's so crazy.
In the tiniest village in far east Germany, you can't get much more east than this. We're right on the border to Poland. Yeah. So whatever. I always say it's in German the Bauchnabel der Welt. Nabel der Bauchnabel muss man einfach Nabel der Welt.
Nabel.
Nabel, that's just saying it's the belly button of the world, or what?
Yeah. Everything comes together in Pasewalk.
And how many times have you been in Berlin? Well, I don't know. I've been in Berlin multiple times. I've been in New York on the Strip and met people from Pasewalk. Literally.
From Pasewalk?
Yeah.
When I meet people, they
so weird.
Mostly know Pasewalk from driving through and
Cheers,
stuff.
Elisa.
Joey. But yeah, most of the time they just heard of it or went through with the train once.
Yeah, because we have a train station here. I mean, logistically, it's a pretty good centralized place for the eastern part of Germany for sure.
Yeah.
It's just located in this. It's just geographically located for a logistical advantage. The train station comes through here. Back in the day with the Prussian army, they had their base here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what all the Kürassee-Stadt. Es war früher eine Kürassee-Stadt, ne?
That's known.
That's known.
Well,
right?
that's what I know. But the
Prussian army. Well, that was the Prussian army, right?
Oh, I might get stoned by the Pasewalker, but
yeah, I thought that was.
But the history of the city isn't so.
It's okay. But the main thing is that I wanted to make this episode for her because she reached out and I thought that was really cool. So what I did is I got on this website where I go to check out things for everything Germany, America. The one website would be the local. So yeah, this is actually the orange one there, yeah. And so I pulled up an article. In the show notes, I'm going to share a link that can give you I think a week or a month access for the website, because it's a €5 a month fee to read all. They have a couple free articles, but most of the stuff is you have to pay.
No, it's like every other.
But for that, I have to say it's a good quality. Like the stuff that they pull out relevant topics of the day and what people are doing. And this one is like, where in Germany do all the Americans live? It's just so funny to do this episode again, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, do you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone yet? Because I was like, when we were talking about Rügen, I was like, okay, I'm gonna say the same things I said about the. God.
I thought about mentioning the Kreide phase, but
it's like, I don't know, because
should I not? I think of something else.
Because like I went up to I had vacation up there, and it was cool up there, and then I got into all these topics about like what's so cool about that island up there, and they have like these chalk cliffs, and then they have this area in the middle of the island, far away from the coast, like probably a good like you'd have to imagine the tidal wave that brought all of these rocks into the central area of the island must have been so huge to bring those, because there's just rocks that belong at the bottom of the ocean in the middle of the island, Findlinge, and these rocks are rocks that you can start fire with. They're the flint and steel. You need steel and you need the flint, and they're flint rocks, and they're super round. You can tell that they've been in the ocean for millions of years, or tens of thousands of years. I don't know. Yeah, and they're just in the middle of the forest on this island, and there's a sign there. It's actually like a true tourist destination. Not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people go to it, but it's when you hike back there. And I remember going back there with Franzi probably 10 years ago. Me and her went back there with our friends Dieter and Steffi. Shout out to Dieter and Steffi. You don't watch this in English probably, but anyway. So yeah, we went there and checked that out, and that was like a little branch that we went off of in our original episode. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that today, but anyway. So what I also said about this article was, where in Germany do all the Americans live? And I was like, well, why would you want to move to Germany just to be here with all these Americans?
Because you don't get out of your zone, basically.
Yeah, like you don't get out of your comfort zone, and it makes sense to not get out of your comfort zone. And I think the whole comfort zone talk is a big talk. It's a big thing.
No.
It turns into you coming to a new country. So another thing is, I don't know a lot about this person that wrote me and her boyfriend. Obviously, I just know that was it. That's all the information I have. So I don't know, like, are they both from Canada and he's half Canadian German? Are they from America and living in Canada? Have they already traveled? So I don't know. There's just a certain amount of information, like how far along are you on your traveling career?
What do you need to know?
Yeah, and how ready are you for the change that's about to hit you, right? How much German do you speak? That's one of those things that I definitely had to deal with at the very beginning. I didn't speak any German when I came to Germany, so that was definitely a huge barrier. Actually,
it was a tricky time.
Yeah, it was a huge barrier, and it created a lot of stress, and it's positive stress, and it made me grow. And I had to figure a lot of shit out on my own, which was, I was 25, so it's like, go for it. You don't got no other reason. It was a good time for me. Some people do it younger. There's multiple ways that you can come out to Germany. There's multiple ways that you can move to a new country, and just the way that I did it obviously is going to be very specific to my situation, right? So you can't
we saw that there are many, many, many ways how to do it, or what problems you can hit on your way.
Yeah, and what's the reason for coming out here? Do you want to just have fun? Sometimes it's better to not understand everything, says Anna. Yeah, do you want to come out here to Germany to just play around for a couple years and just is that a certain type of travel visa? They tend to be like 3 months, I think, like that. So if you're saying, no, we want to move, then it's like, well, that's the first thing. It's like, you want to stay, you want to relocate, and then do you have a job?
And
do you want to get a job?
All these requirements beforehand, huh?
Yeah, and you need to figure that out probably before you come over. How long you're going to stay? Because if you come out here for your 3 months and you figure out in the last week that you want to stay, they might be like, no. you need to, take a German language test or something that takes a lot of effort that you can't just prepare for in 1 week. So I had the situation that I was able to work for my father-in-law when I first got here, or he wasn't my father-in-law back then, but I would say my mentor, my poppy, my German dad. So I was able to work for him, and that allowed me to stay on a work visa. So that was specific to my situation again. And being here in Pasewalk was probably the only downside to that, right? Like,
no, you don't have that many options to.
Well, no, like Franzi didn't have a job. I didn't really have a sponsor other than him, and so it was like we're stuck in Pasewalk, and for me, like, that was a huge culture shock. If I'm just being honest, as much as I like to talk nice about the city that we're living in,
it's a bit of an old people town.
It's a bit of an old people town. I was 25. I'm ready to roll. Let's go, And we would go to Berlin and stuff like that, and we ended up getting an apartment in Berlin like a year and a half later, or a year later. But that was a long year, That was it was quite the year, man, for sure. And so this article kind of just brings up the point of, like, where are all the Americans? Are you going to go when you move to Germany? Are you going to show up to places where Americans are already there and they've already got in bigger cities? The problem I see in bigger cities actually is that you're, as much as there's so many, there might be, it says here that there's 3,000 Americans living in Frankfurt, in Frankfurt am Main, which is, it's like, well, when are you going to meet those 3,000 Americans living there, Oh, see, that's the
local ones too.
Why don't you just take my my code key? Oh, you can just sign in with Facebook. So you move to like a bigger city, but I tend to feel like bigger cities are very anonymous. So I remember living in Berlin. I lived next to, like, probably a lot more Americans than I live to now. And I know the three Americans way better here in this little village than I would the 3,000 living in Berlin, because I never run into them. And eventually, I mean, if you live there for 10 years and stuff, I'm sure you'll get a community. But in the first year, it's cool that you have like in this situation, she's got a boyfriend, and so I was thinking, like, well, that's a test, right?
Like for the relationship, yeah.
Exactly, because let me just think about my situation with my wife when we came here, and I think I was quite the. I don't know how to say it, man. I was not easy,
I was not easy.
I was not easy, it was quite the test for our relationship, and Franzi's really, I have to give her credit even now for how patient she was with me, and the situation of me being thrown into this new country, not speaking the language. And then we still had to live our lives, and we still had to kind of figure out how to make money. And she had to want to get a job, so she ended up going to Berlin. And I was actually working here in Pasewalk for a while, and I would go to visit her in Berlin on the weekends. It was just there was that, and then there was the whole language barrier of us going to parties, and me, like, as much as you want to have a good time and everything, it just turned into this whole language barrier. Sit around for, I don't know, like, until 10 p.m. at night, and eventually you just get to a point where you don't want to talk anymore because it's too much, this language barrier, because everyone wants to speak English with you, and they speak like a certain type of English that's
the
not
broken one.
It's called the broken English, and so they would say, like, are you drinking water? And, like, you're like, am I what am I, water? Or do you drink, what do you, there's just, these little things that nowadays I'm good for.
Do you water?
Do you water?
Do you water?
Do you water?
Me,
are you
plans.
glad? And then they would answer you back in German, and you try and figure out what they're saying and stuff, and you would, but then eventually it just became such a mental workout that both parties would just give up, and I would just end up kind of, sitting back and just watching the party. And it's, and even if I'm close to my girlfriend or whatever, I was so jealous, I think, because I've never had that before, where I was in a situation where I couldn't kind of like this fresh relationship with this girl, I couldn't defend it. I
Well,
couldn't.
and even if you don't know what's said in the in the dialogue between.
Yeah, like they, and Franzi's
sparks some-
she's a nice looking girl, and she's really friendly, and she's always been better with guys. Like I know that for a fact. Like she's more of a guys type of girl.
There
She's
are
like a
these-
buddy.
Yeah, there are these.
She's that type of girl.
got a
you
lot
know?
of buddy
girls. yeah, and I was like that whole concept of buddy girl, and like I was never buddies with girls, like so I didn't really get that. I was kind of like, yeah, you guys are buddies, right? Until you fuck. So like let's just make sure we figure out that no one goes there. And so I was really protective of her, overly protective, probably more because of the language and all that. So the stress that you have on the relationship, in that sense, was real. And I have to really say that Franzi kept a cool head about it. The whole like tendency to be, get into some light type of depression because of that was there for me.
Yeah, if you're so capsulated in your stuff,
I wasn't depressed, but I was kind of like, you're just fighting with it. And then Franzi would just tell me, she'd just be like, go sleep, like go lay down. And I was like, what is she talking about? But usually it actually was the fact that I was just mentally tired from the language barrier and trying to just catch up with everything. And so I would take a nap, I'd wake back up after the nap and I'd feel better, and she'd be like, see? And so I learned after a while, I learned after a while that like, maybe it's good that she didn't feed into my depression and be like, oh, what's wrong? Can I help you? And do that, like I had to kind of fend for myself there. And it was good that I had a strong partner for that. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out if I didn't have, like, if Franzi wasn't the kind of person that she was.
Yeah, someone with a hotter temperament. What do you call it?
She doesn't. It's not that she doesn't have a hot temper, but someone maybe that would like placate me and just tell me what I want to hear wouldn't have been good for me. It never, of course. It never was. It's never. I mean, like, really, if you think about it.
In this case, sometimes you need someone who's like, oh, come on, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, but that's not Franzi.
Yeah, but with problems you have to solve, like the language barrier or all this stuff we're doing behind the scenes with this whole paper shit I have to go through. Yeah. It's stuff you just have to do. So and I did nothing for a month or a half. And you're right. You just have to do it. Takes its revenge if you take your time too long for necessary stuff.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of like I go through phases of that too, and I like when you think about moving to a new country, like I was just all stoked on the excitement of it, right? Like you're just excited about doing something new. You just want to go out and like fucking check out a new country, It was awesome.
I want to wear leather shorts and grill.
I did not want to do that. I did not want to do that.
But that's this stereotype of, is it true, this German stereotype in
leather
America?
pants? Yeah, I always thought, I don't know, like I'm kind of the wrong person to ask because like the biggest stereotype that I would definitely had in my mind, because I was kind of, I still am, I just don't really live it out, but I'm kind of a car junkie. I like to look at cars, and I like to look at classic cars and fast cars, and like if someone would be like, let's go on the track and race cars, I'd be like, I'm so there. Like I've never done it, but I would be so there. And
that's one of these things where
I would
go off.
Like I would sleep for 10 hours before so that I'd like go to track day, and like I would do everything I could to like be the fastest guy on that track, dude.
That's what we talked about with shooting. I haven't shot a gun. Is that right?
You've never shot a gun, yeah? No.
Oh, but
you would.
But I would if we would go to.
I think we should start doing that stuff. Like that's the coronas, the COVID's starting to recede here a little bit. The sun is coming out. People are walking around. You get the feeling like, oh, we can start doing shit again.
Yeah, that's for real. That
dude.
feeling is coming up real strong.
Yeah, huh? Isn't it crazy? Don't you feel that right now?
Since the sun came out, it
turned all of a sudden like super warm too. It was all freezing cold, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, winter, now it's summer. Like literally, like there's summer days that are just as warm as like in Germany.
No,
That's
that's
17
true.
degrees. There's
17.
definitely like we've had summers where it stood that weather the whole summer,
Yeah, it
and we have it in February
didn't
this
got
year.
warmer than that sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Crazy global warming. It's fucking us up.
probably, huh? That's probably global warming, right? Well, I mean, what else is gonna be? It's not like I don't know. They were saying that in Texas too because there was this huge ice storm in Texas, and Joe was like, "Well, yeah, but look at the records. Like, well, how many years have we been taking? 120 years. It's like that's for the Earth. That's like a second and a half.
It's 1.5 generations or so.
Yeah, it's like it's the world record the ice storm. You know, it's like yeah, right. You know, but yeah. So I digress. I would definitely race cars. Before I said that, I don't know. What was I saying? Race cars. I look tired today, man. No, race cars. I was before race cars.
Race
What was I?
cars.
Oh, come on.
Pick up the show notes. Maybe they helped me. No, we didn't. Took off on. Where do all the Germans live? You have your circle of people.
Yeah. No, I don't know anymore.
Me neither.
There's definitely a loop there, though. It's coming back. Yeah.
For
so,
sure.
like, I guess I was trying to say is like my original thing. And I got it now. My original thing was one of the biggest things I had for Germany was, one of the misconceptions I had about Germany before I came to Germany was the Autobahn.
The Autobahn.
Because I was kind of a car guy, and I was like, well, the Autobahn must be like this certain like part of the like you just go there in Germany. Like my thing was like you go to Germany and then you go to the Autobahn like a racetrack.
Ach so.
Kind of like it's where other cars can race, but it's just a section of the freeway. Because someone told me it's a section of the freeway where there's no speed limit. And so I'm thinking like there's probably just one section in the whole of Germany where you go, and that's the Autobahn. And that's how you get on there, and that's how you race your car. And then I got here, they're like, no, that's the word for freeway. You know, like, that's just freeway. That's what all the roads, all the freeways here are Autobahn. And they all have no speed limit. I'm like, whoa, that was kind of a bonus, you know?
Oh, how is it on the freeways? Do you have a speed limit or?
In the United States, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you can do these left right swerves.
Yeah, so like the biggest difference once you get here is the fact that everyone drives. First off, Germans drive like they've got minus time. Like they literally drive. Like that's the first thing you notice when you go back to the States. Everyone's just on the freeway, just chilling on their couch. Like everyone drives slow, and they all drive like next to each other. There's no all the slow drivers go to the right and all the fast drivers go to the left. There's none of that.
But that's how it should be.
And that's the law in the United States too. But no one follows it. Everyone just drives however the fuck they want to drive. They just drive slow. And like if you were a fast guy, you literally have to be like, I go to the right, I go to the left, and I go through everybody.
And
and
that's
then
what I just saw on the TV.
And that's how you would always get in trouble because the police officers would just be one of those slow ones, and you'd just be like boom, 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 and then right in front of the police car, and they'd just be like, "Where do you think you're going?" I'm like, "God, man, everyone drives so fucking slow."
So that's not allowed either there.
To drive fast now.
This
Slur. Well, it's allowed. It's allowed. It's not that it's not allowed. Let's just say you just have to do it under the speed limit or at the speed limit.
It's hard to.
And everyone's driving like sometimes when I've even passed I remember I got so many cop stories. First off, both my parents are cops. Like both my mom and my stepdad are cops, or were. They're both retired CHP officers.
Your mom did parole officer?
No, she was on a horse.
Yeah, horse. Yeah. I just
yeah. She was a CHP, as a California Highway Patrol, but they also protect the Capitol in California, and so they have a horse patrol for the Capitol for riot control and for people control. They get on the horses because people get out the fuck the way, get the fuck out the way. Yeah. Anyway, so the thing about like coming to Germany, you get back here and you're like, damn it, people like are so fast on the free, and people like just they do that whole with their head highlight, which is also illegal. But like if you're driving in the fast lane and you're not going fast enough, or like they're coming up on you in Mach 3, you have to get out the way right? This is the Ludacris song. Move, bitch. Get out the way, and you get out in front of the car. But sometimes it's like the semi that's going too slow, and you're going a little faster, so you want to pass them. And then comes fucking Geschäftsführer 058 in sein hochgepuschte BMW, but it's like a really fast car, and he has to slam on his brakes so hard because the speed difference is so high, and he'll just sit there and flash his high beams at you in the back, you know. And I have to say, like, when I first got to Germany and first got my first company car, I was not any different, dude. I would do that so much. Because once you get up to that speed and you're going, like, I don't know, probably like 130, 140 miles an hour on the freeway, it's actually not that bad. Like, once, because the freeways here, like, that's a big difference, too. Like,
oh, they're better?
They're way better. You could go that speed. And if you were going that speed in the California freeways, you'd just be like, there's sections, I'm sure, that you can do it. But like once you get down towards San Francisco and stuff, like in California, it just turns. You're going up and down, and it's too much.
You're worn out from the.
Yeah, like you will literally just fly off at that speed. You just crash. But anyway, yeah, it's there's one of those differences. I can go over the differences multiple times. There's thousands of differences, obviously, and there's so many similarities too. That's the funny thing. Like after being here for 13 years. Like, this is where we're going to go with this episode because, like, I figured out through researching for this podcast that I could possibly get dual citizenship, which is, like, totally new to me.
Yeah, we found out that you could...
Yeah. It's
like just, like, go vote and stuff.
Yeah, well, I was like, no, I'm not allowed to get it. Like, I was always told that there's dual citizenship's not a deal. So I'm going to get my glasses back on here so I can read you guys this article. I'm going to take my headphones off with it. It's the Can Amis Double Up? Exactly. So I'm going to read this a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to read it because I already read it once. If you want to read it, I'll put it in the show notes. It's a good article. There's about multiple different people that have been through the situation or have been living in Germany and wanted to, for whatever reason, get dual citizenship because right now, as it stands, I would have to give up my citizenship in the United States to get my German citizenship. But what these people did here in 2016, so I don't know. This is the question now.
No,
like they found a loophole, and the loophole's weird. So it says thousands of Brits have gotten dual citizenship in Germany since Brexit, but that's not an option for Americans, right? Question mark. Yeah, okay. Well, because of the Brexit, that's a different story. That doesn't apply to me. I'm not from Great Britain. So one smart young Ami, that's what they call us here in Germany, by the way. They call us Amis because in German you say Amerikaner and AMI is the very first. So Ami.
Amis.
Becoming Amis. So get used to that. No big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. As long as you don't call me asshole or anything. And I, along with a number of my country people, have been able to slip through. The key is a 7-digit number. So the reason that this number is, it's basically the number of the law that they found. And honestly, I tried to find this law. I didn't find it. So I don't know if it's gone.
Yeah, there could be they just closed the hole.
Closed the loophole. And that's what they were talking about in this article is like, do it before we close before they close the article or the loophole. So what I did is so if you go down on this a little bit, let's just read it and go see Staatsangehörigkeitsgesetz. Kannst du den bitte googeln, mein Freund? Can you please Google that and try and look for this paragraph? So you can now, and then so. If you go to that, exactly. So paragraph 12, yeah? Paragraph 12. There it is. Yeah. So, what they're saying here is, it's all in German. I wish maybe we should read it and find it in English.
Yeah. Okay. That in the English podcast doesn't make
much sense. German citizenship laws in English. I mean, why would they? It's like, who, you know? anyway, what in this article, what they did is they found out like that there's this way in there. There's this way to get it done, and the way to get it done is if. Can we go back to the article because they actually they said it. To give up, like giving up U.S. citizenship requires more than burning your passport and creating the picture of Trump. Blah blah blah. It's actually rather difficult. In 2014, the U.S. State Department raised the fee of renunciation. So what it would cost me to renunciate my U.S. citizenship in the United States. It would cost me $2,350. Renunciate. It's like saying I don't want to be an American anymore. Okay. So that fee costs $2,350 to do that. If I want to do that. And then when I do that, then I can become a German. So, according to German law, an American can get dual citizenship as long as they earn less than $2,100 per month before taxes. So the reason for that is this law says that it can't cost more, like I can't make more money per month than it costs me to renunciate my passport or my citizenship. That's the law. And it's such a weird law, so it kind of makes sense that it might not even be there anymore. Like I said, I searched for it. Anyway, these people used that loophole and got dual citizenship. So in 2016, when this article was written, that's what they did. There was Ask Me Anything on Reddit with this with Andy Plante Crop. I tried to find that too. I couldn't find it. So it would be kind of interesting. What they also did in this, I think in this article, they also linked to a company that will help you with these types of legal issues. So what I did is I contacted them, and they're called the SE Legal Schlon on Elves. No, I think it was in the other document. That one, yeah. Immigration to Germany. Everything you need to know about moving to Germany. So when was this article?
This article is from.
It's always good to know timing wise. Have at least basic proficiency in German. Yeah, because there's like different visas, right? When you get out here, that's kind of what we started to talk about, like business visa, visas to study in Germany, job seeker visa, working visa, guest scientist visa, so you can look for aliens, training internship visa, family reunion visa to join a relative or partner. So, excuse me. And then here, this company, Schlan and Elsven Immigration Law Practice, I contacted them, and they wrote back to me. And so for a consultation, it's like 190 euros, dude. 190 euros just for
getting tips on how you do it right.
What's up, Manu? Are you writing? I see you. I just saw your chat on there. What's up, girl? Yeah, ich sehe so nackig aus dem Gesicht. Ja, warum auch, ne, Manuela? She told me when we last saw each other, she told me that my beard's ugly. And then my wife tells me my beard is ugly every day. So then I was like, fuck it, you know. I'm just gonna shave it off. Anyway, yeah, the German immigration thing it's in progress. So what I'm gonna do is I don't know if I'm gonna sign up for the $190. It's like, just to be like, no.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work, you know. Like, it would be nice to, before I pay for anything, to at least to know if it's worth it or not, to try and go down that route. And if there is a loophole to where I can keep it, where I can, like, I'm going to write them back and be like, I'll be down for the 190 euros if you can guarantee me that there's a loophole. American. Show me the paragraph, and then I will pay you the 190 euros. Show me the law that says, because there was a law, that's what a lot of these people, that's what they ended up doing. Like in this article, there was like 3 different situations where they went to throughout like we can read it up a little bit. It's really pretty interesting. At least it's interesting for me. Like I said, I don't know if the person that hit me up on Instagram is even thinking about, you know, but it's like, why would you want to give up your American citizenship? I don't see any plus in that. But I do see a plus in having a German citizenship, because then I can vote here. I can take care of things like on that level. I can be part of the community.
Yeah, on the local level,
I can vote for my mayor of this. I live in a village with 11,000 people, you know, and I can't even vote for her, or the next person or whatever. Like there's a disconnect there. As active as I am in the community, but I can't vote.
Even in a small community,
it's a small. It plays a bigger role.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what they told me in school.
Whatever. We're not into politics, but the thing is, like, the giving up my United States citizenship. I don't know. It's like just the short one looks better.
America.
Nice menu, not ugly. Just that the short one looks better. She says. I don't know. What would you do, Manuela? Would you give up your German citizenship to become an American? I have it right here on my thing too. It's okay. So yeah, he's putting it up for the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, is it not working, the chat?
And the chat is working. I just put it into so Manuela can see her own reaction. But I'm the stupid one here. Normally it should
be on there.
OBS. Of course it works.
Yeah, it's working. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. So I guess that's the question. And so I used to think, I do still think, that it's actually a huge pain in the ass to keep my citizenship in America to this point right now, because no, I won't. See, she wouldn't do it. See, I wouldn't do it either. But even if, like, if you were to write down, like, all the good things about it and then all the bad things about it, there's way more, like, administrative things. I have to do my taxes in the United States, even though I'm living here. Downside. Upside, all my kids get to have double citizenship. That's a big up.
That's a real big up, yeah. That's good. I said that the last time like 5 times. That's pretty.
That's awesome. They can be little mini Jason Bournes. They can go back and forth. And we, like, it's totally. That's actually the one reason to keep it. But what happens when all my kids have that? Like, once they have it, they can't take it away, and they can be like, oh, peace out. I'm just gonna be German now. So. That's coming up pretty soon, because I'm going to apply for the citizenship for my little daughter. You have until the age of 8 for them. You can apply for the citizenship, because of the pandemic. You can't go down there. And then Berlin closed its embassy, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You have to be there in person. So I'm just waiting for Berlin to open back up, and I'm going to get that. But once I get that, then that's off the list. So then I have another downside is, every bank account that goes over a certain amount of money, like I think it's $10,000 for every account that you have that it has, or that you have access to. Like, I'm on a joint account with my wife, and that goes over dollars. So converted, I have to tell the United States that this is an account that I have access to, and I'm in United States American living outside because of terrorists and money laundering and all that shit. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just like, you got to do that, and if you don't do it, then it's a deal. Then it's a problem. Yeah. Then they're like, hey man, what the fuck, and then you get the book thrown at you. No. What else is, I don't know. The downside, like the reason to keep it again, like another upside, is because what happens if, like, I need to be for an extended period of time in California with my parents or with my grandparents. What happens if I need to stay there and take care of the certain things or whatever family situations? Then if it takes over 3 months, then I'd have to fly back.
And it's way easier with.
Oh, Anna, don't be protective of your beard, man. Anna, I wanted to be a beard brother with you. No, aber ich wüsste jetzt Mittagsbubu machen. Oh, Mittagsbubu.
Kleines Bubu.
Ja. Ja, den Termin heute Abend sollst du schön ausgeholt sein für deinen Termin heute Abend. Yeah, that's first off, I'm gonna address the beard situation. So, Anna, you have a great beard, man. I respect your beard. Among bearded brothers, you've let it grow out the longest out of all of my friends, and I think it looks good on him. I like it. I like Anna's beard. I'll go for it.
Yeah, it fits into the whole look, like.
Yeah, he's got it down. It fits him. He takes care of it, but he doesn't take care of it too much. He doesn't iron it flat and make it look all fake. It's still got its little things going, It's gray like mine, which is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Oh no, he shaved it too. No.
It came off.
How did you shave it? Why did you shave it? No. Oh, it's crazy though when you have a beard for so long like that and you shave it off. Is like I saw some fucking disgusting videos on YouTube. Like dudes they'll have like ingrown hair and they won't know about it, you know? And it grows and then they pull out like a half a mile of hair out of their face. Yeah. See, okay, and looking 10 years younger is definitely the it's not like we're on the market or anything, but I definitely look younger without a beard too. Yeah. I even look younger now without the long hair. It's weird, but I don't really care. Like for me, it's not about. It's actually the best thing about having short hair is like sports and stuff like that, or like wearing a helmet or wearing like a hoodie. Yeah. It's just functional. It's like your hair just is there and it doesn't get in the way, and you just put a hoodie on. I don't even have to wear a beanie when it's cold out. I just put a hoodie on, and it's like.
Yeah, I miss being bald. No, that was easy. Like coming out the shower. Tower once.
Anna had to shave his beard because he couldn't go to the barber anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the whole shaving package, like head and beard.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it gets to be pretty tricky to trim your own beard. A lot of beard guys go to their barber and have the barber just do it, and then it's just like you keep your hands off it, because when you do it and you look at it, you don't ever have the right angles, you know. Like I have this whole thing where I'm holding it, you know, like you have to hold it with one arm and you hold the other arm so it's stable, you know, and then you just kind of do the trim. But the thing is, like, if I looked at my beard after, like, I saw this like the longest I ever had it, I remember looking at like a side picture of it. And I took a picture before I shaved it off because I was like, that's so fucking long, you know. I was so proud of it. And here in the front, the way what I always saw looked badass. But then when I turned to the side, I was like, oh damn, that's all messed up. Like it had like a like it was here, it was like long in front, but then it like went back in, and then because I didn't, like, I always paid attention to this, but I didn't grow it enough under there, and it's just like there's a whole. Like, it looks good here, but then the barber can take care of it. Yeah, oh seriously. Exactly.
Beard science.
Yeah, and that's the only way to get it really full is actually just to grow it out from your neck, just straight out. Don't shave it underneath your neck. Just let this all be. It's like you're supporting brothers that bring it all to the full.
The supporting brothers.
Plus, in jiu-jitsu, it gets totally in the way, dude. It's
I can totally.
It's annoying as shit. Like you're like, it's probably not annoying to me as it is to the people I'm rolling with.
Someone
just like putting my beer in their face, like, come on, man, give up.
Someone gets a nasty choke and pinches some. Didn't have.
No, the hair never really. I mean, when I had it longer, like the longest I ever had it, the thing that would be annoying was that you would just get hair in your mouth and stuff because it would just be like coming in here, and then and that's actually, I mean, eating all these things. That, you know, or like whenever like you're eating this fast food stuff and it just all gets in there, and it's definitely
downside.
So I'm gonna do the process. I'm gonna see what's up with this guy, see if they can help me for 190 euros, if they can help me see if I can get dual citizenship. Das Kübelt nicht angenehm beim Rollen. See, that's Manuela kann das bestätigen.
Kribbelt nicht angenehm.
Ja. Es kotzt, ja. So, ja. Und jetzt kotzt es natürlich auch. Also now it's going to scratch even more, I think.
Because it's so short.
Yeah. It's a little, but it's also like you don't really even get on to, you might not even get it. Like if it's hanging out here, it's obviously going to hit you faster than if it's back here. Like that little, you know, it's all millimeters. Anyway, yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to try and do this whole thing. What's the reason I would even want a German passport? Obviously, like I said before, voting, and you know what else? Like even investing and doing all these things like with the bank and stuff like that. It's a pain in the butt. Like,
yeah, you said that. Before.
I can't even, like, as an American, I can't get an investment account here in Germany. As an American citizen and a German residence, like a permanent resident of Germany and American citizenship, I'm not able to get like a brokerage account. Just they just won't do it because it's just too complicated for them. Probably it's just like, no, it's not worth the paperwork, and it could work, but it's just a huge pain in the ass. That's like Jesus.
If they do it for one person, they have to do it for them all.
Ja. Ja, Manuela, wir wollen jetzt kein seltsame Gefühle machen. Alles klar, dann schlaf schön.
Nighty night.
Nighty night. Yeah. So, yeah. So, and part of the thing that we talked about last time, and I'm trying to figure out how I got to that, was about this hedonic treadmill.
The hedonic treadmill.
Like, I wonder why I brought that up yesterday. Here comes the photos. Oh, that's not bad. Here, dude, I have to send it to you on Discord, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Download. Desktop. I'll send you guys this. For people listening, I'm sorry, just 1 second. I'm just going to give the viewers a chance to check out Anna's beard. It looks good like that, though. It's not even that bad. Let me just bring it over to Discordian. Discord.
Shoutouts on Baba landed tomorrow at 8 a.m. on our Discord.
There he is.
Oh,
it's
definitely way shorter.
Yeah, he used to have it way under the.
I thought it's completely gone, but
yeah, but he still does look younger.
Yeah,
for sure.
The beard is gone. Impressive one.
Isn't that funny though? Like every picture of people these days, there's a mask everywhere. There's just masks on the streets.
Laying around in the dirt.
It's like, pick up your fucking masks, dude.
Yeah.
That's worse than not wearing one.
That's true.
Yeah. Just go to the beach, be like, oh, there's masks, and there's cigarettes and masks.
I wonder how much lands in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, you have these.
Those be like sharks with masks on.
You have these islands of rubber shoes, and next to it there's an island of masks. Oh, you have the human debris stuff.
Yeah.
And you have the corona.
Yeah, he has to wear it. Yeah, it's good. Wear your mask, man. Do what you gotta do. It's good that you're working. Working is good. That's good. Gotta do the old. You could be proud of our studio, bro. You'd be proud of our studio.
And I haven't stepped or fell over a cable for very, very, very long.
Yeah, I don't know if Anna was at the beginning of the chat or at the beginning of the video today when we were talking about our studio, but we stepped it up a level. Thank you for your input on that. Yeah, 3 days live stream. 3 days live stream. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a lot of time. Holy cow. What are you guys doing? What kind of live stream are you guys doing? That's cray.
3 day live stream. GP Hustler stuff.
From yesterday. 3 Tage wach, Anna. Du wolltest ja doch. You wanted to party. Now you got to do it at work. Yeah, like I guess the hedonic treadmill was something that I had learned about in my meditation. And it's something about, oh yeah, dude, we went on this whole rant about fat people.
Yeah, true.
I must have been talking about something. I don't know why we were fat shaming hardcore.
Maybe because we didn't know that hamburgers and hot dogs were brought over to America by the Germans.
Yeah. So where did we find that out?
That was one random fact I put in the show notes.
In the show notes, exactly, dude. Go back to that. See, that's so hard because we had such a great conversation. So, random facts. So there's a total of 230 million expats worldwide. Expats make 3.1% of the global population. If every expat had to hold hands and form a human chain, they would at least circle once around Earth. Oh, and we would all say ein Tischbuch zusammen. We would all.
Yeah, here's the Germans. German Americans established the first kindergartens in the United States, introduced the Christmas tree tradition,
Yeah.
and introduced popular foods such as hot dogs and hamburgers to America.
Yeah. Which was like, what?
Yeah, that was
Like hamburgers? Seriously?
hamburgers.
Like, I thought that was all coming back from us. Like, I thought that the Americans bringing that to Germany. And it is kind of now, but it's like the hamburgers are coming back now, not because of Americans, but they're just coming back in Germany in general.
Yeah.
And it's taken like 3 years. And
We
then
just knew them as buletten.
and we just knew them as buletten. Like these, and people would be like, why do you flatten your buletten, you know?
Why you flatten your buletten?
That's a good one, huh? Flatten your buletten. Make a burger.
Make a burger.
Yeah, so buletten is the way the Germans usually like eat their meatballs here. Their meat, they like to make them nice and round, and that's also pretty like making meatballs is. I got a little bit of Italian blood, man. I go for that any day.
The spaghetti meat,
The spaghetti meatball, for sure. But we were talking about fat people, and then we were like, we didn't want to fat shame like people that don't have any control over it. But then we decided that if you are fat and you can lose weight, then you should probably do that. Oh, because we were talking about taxes. Because we were talking about the difference in taxes in the United States and Germany, like the level. Because I think that was part of the thing with taxes in the United States and me getting my passport, and why would I have to pay so many taxes, and it turned into like this whole taxes thing where it was like, oh yeah, well in Germany we pay 50%, almost like it's like, you know, in the business it's about it comes out to out to about like 48% taxes. So. You're working like the whole, you know, half of the year for the state.
So you work in half of the year for these people that
people that are feeding their fat faces with McDonald's.
Just go
with
over
hamburgers
to Aldi and buy the lasagna for the 5th time the week.
Yeah, and it was like, and we were talking about this whole thing about we were talking about immigrants and stuff, because we got on some topic here in the where it was like, is immigration? I think it must have been on this article here where we're talking about the immigration and how many, and it's like we kind of had the discussion where it's not about the immigrants that are coming out of here out of these situations where it's like a shitty war situation or whatever, you know, like that's obviously like. I'm a humanitarian in that sense. Like I think it's cool that Germany is ready to take on that.
And we've said that it's have been worse, and it's
and it's like you have a certain thing where you
in terms of numbers.
It's definitely been, you know, and being like an immigrant myself, right? Like I don't really think of myself as one in some way, but I am one, right? Or I would be if I got my passport. I'm still American. Technically, I'm not an immigrant. I'm just a resident. But immigration means that you're there for good in a sense. So I wonder what level of immigration I have, you know, because of the fact that I married my wife and I've been married to her for over 3 years. She could technically divorce me and I could still legally live here in Germany, in the European Union, actually.
You also could go over to Poland or to Czech Republic.
Yeah, anywhere in the European Union. It's part of, like, this residence permit is European Union wide, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I think yeah. Anyway, we kind of just discussed about that and talked about fat people, which wasn't really nice. But sometimes being nice is fucking boring, dude.
Sure.
And being mean is like, you know, being mean gets you somewhere. Like, not me being mean, but like someone being mean to you. Like, if you were my buddy and you're fat and you're walking around and you're being fat, you know, I'd just be like, come on, man. Get on the fucking treadmill. It's, you know, because I care about you.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what good friends do. They want you to be around. So, like, if you got a friend that's overweight, you know, and it's kind of like, I'm pretty emotional about the stuff I put in my mouth. And then we talked about that too, like the fact that, like, when Franzi, you know,
pizza shames you.
She pizza shames me, seriously. Yeah, for sure. Or Ben and Jerry shames me.
Ben and Jerry's. I'm a Hagen Dazs guy.
Yeah.
And the pieces inside, it's not my cup of tea.
No, it's not your bowl of ice cream.
It's not my bowl of ice cream. No.
Huh.
I like it just vanilla. Vanilla is the best flavor
straight.
for all, no matter which brand it is.
It's very
But Häagen-Dazs makes the best one.
right wing of you. You only like it vanilla.
When it comes to ice cream, true.
Yeah.
Ethnical, I'm very open for all.
But when it comes to the ice cream, you're very
True, yeah, that's true. I'm maybe a little bit
racist.
ice cream.
You're racist.
Ice cream extremist.
Yeah. The thing about Ben and Jerry's is it's very, very sweet, and you just put so much of that lovely sweet caramel in your mouth, and it's like, but at some point, it's too much. You can't.
And then it's so overwhelming.
And you go to I always eat it at night, like on Saturday night when I'm watching TV or something, watching a movie with the kids, and I eat yesterday
I had a headache because of too much sugar.
Yeah.
I guess because I ate a whole pack of Windbeutel. What's in English?
I don't know what that is in English. A Windbeutel?
These little pouches with cream in them, and a whole pack of cookies.
Oh,
like 2 or 3 hours before I went to bed, and the last 2 hours of my day were filled with headaches.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, that just when you said that, it made me think of drink water.
That wasn't that smart.
So if you're listening out there, listener, that hit me up on Instagram again. Thank you, and let me know like a little bit more about your story. Maybe we can kind of research your situation a little bit better, and because I think like going to this company that I went to here, this Schlund and Elfsen, they want $190 just for like saying hello, which is like
just for you to ask them questions.
It's like a lot of money, bro. And like money's tight when you're moving out, when you're moving across the country. I remember moving, getting rid of all my shit and selling everything I had, and then my parents-in-law now, like they basically they bought me a plane ticket out here. It was still like I just had scraped everything I had together, and they still hooked me up with the plane ticket. And like I wouldn't recommend anybody to do it the way I did it. It was like I said, every situation is different. So I wonder what their situation might be like, because he's
if they move in together, they have to.
Well, because I wonder if he speaks German.
And if one of them would speak German, makes it way easier.
Or I wonder like if he's even got German family somewhere, So that would make it even more easy, because then you could just chill with the family, kind of get your wits about you, and figure out like plan of attack from Germany.
from the inside.
Yeah. But again, like the visa thing becomes problematic. If you want to stay for longer than 3 months, you got to start making decisions pretty quick. Like, what are you doing? How you doing it? I can't see shit when I take my glasses off. Like, is that you there?
Hey.
Yeah. So, honestly, I'm sorry that we didn't record this the first time, because it was a lot more
flawless and flowy. Of course,
for sure. Like we had a lot of stuff, and
you're not the one who has to be sorry.
Eric,
this is the one who has to be sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, man. You're human, just like the rest of us. And the fact that the thing is, because we redid our whole studio, just that one cable we hid all the cables underneath the desk, and so it must have just pulled it out just enough to where
the feeling when I touched this cable and put it in, I felt like the stupidest person on the planet, because and the HDMI cable also did the same thing to the
TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's just what it is, man. It's no big deal. It's just the life we live. Yeah, so I hope that was informative for you in that sense, and I'm going to talk about the Hedonic Treadmill really quick, because what we did was we were talking about the fact that, like, what are these? I don't know. It was so funny. How do I get to that? I must have gotten to that because there was a certain thing about people like making money and getting rich, and why it's never enough, and.
That you have this drive to...
No regrets. Now it's working fine. Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. Yeah, and so this interesting thing, like the Hedonic Treadmill is explained to me like this. the cavemen coming out of their cave and just chilling, like just relaxing, would be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. So like,
because he doesn't crave for more.
Because he's not craving for more comfort or more. He doesn't have like safety. This more safety, or he's not just on the lookout doing the next thing. He's just chilling, being like, I'm good. I'm grateful for life. You know, all these things that you're supposed to do these days, like being grateful for, and you're supposed to be just thankful for everything you have. And why do you want more? And blah, blah, blah. It's programmed into us, like deeply into survival. And it's talking about this. It's called the Hedonic Treadmill, also known as hedonic adaptation, is the observed tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative event, even negative events or life changes. So this part of the brain, this newly developed part of our brain that got us, that changed our skulls and made us humans that we are today. Like before our ancestors, they didn't have such a big,
Their head looks different.
They didn't have this frontal cortex. This frontal cortex has the ability to imagine things that haven't happened to you yet. So you can, like, if I tell you like the next flavor of ice cream is like Leberwurst or you don't have to taste it to know it's not going to taste good. Yeah. Exactly. And so we're like we're the only animals on the planet that can do that, and so visually. We can visualize things before they happen. So I think the connection there is you can also like visualize a state of like the next thing that's gonna, like what you need to do next, right?
Klar. So
yeah,
that's why you do most of the things
you plan. You have better planning.
That's planning, huh?
Yeah, and then I think it was more of like this. Even if something bad happens to you. So say like you have two people. You have one person that won the lotto for $350 million.
Crazy number.
It was like, and then you have the other person that became a paraplegic, lost the use of their legs. Right? Which one's happier? Pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious. The man with the money.
So a year later,
maybe
they did studies on this. There's a study, and it showed that they have the same level of happiness. The person without the use of their legs, and the person that won $350 million or $30 whatever dollars, in a year later, report back saying they're at the same level of happiness. Like they have on the happiness scale, they both have the same.
Oh.
Which tells you that we adapt to our situations. Yeah. Right, and so this adaptive situation thing is good for us in that sense, even with negative things, because then you just pick yourself up and you keep going.
Look what you got.
It sucks.
You still have your arms,
but it sucks like when you see it come out into like this corporation thing where you have like these guys with this millions of dollars and they do this whole thing, and it seems like it's like, isn't it ever enough? Like, can't you just ever be just happy with it? But that's where it comes from,
I think if you feel you have the opportunity to get more, I think it's
and you kind of
let you stop.
Yeah, and you take care of your own. You take care of your own, and that whole thing, and this whole like inner circle. Make sure everyone else is taken care of.
Yeah, if they're good.
Yeah,
that's what you had a good example last time.
We're doing the whole episode is like a replay of our shit that we talked about.
With the food, was it with food where you want to sell the product and it's shitty food, but you tell all your friends and family, don't buy this shit.
No, because we're talking about peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Yeah. Because it's like, well, why does it have to be the sugary peanut butter,
No, because you know that
that's the hedonic. Yeah, because this whole thing about 10,000 years ago, like sugar tastes great, and that's how we got on the fat person thing.
Stimmt.
Jesus Christ, man.
We're
totally just replaying the whole episode back in our heads for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, because it was like the guy that makes the peanut butter, like he comes to you and he's like, okay, Remington, so check it out. You got peanut butter that's organic and it doesn't have any added sugar, and you got peanut butter with all the added sugar. We're going to bring one of these out. You got to tell me which one. But our taste test shows that the sales of the sugary one's going to go right through the roof. So which one are you going to do? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do that one because I want to make the money, because I want to take care of my peeps. I'm not going to let them eat any of that because it's bad for them, but I'm going to take care of my own.
They need that money too.
But they need that money too. I'm going to take care of my own, and fuck the rest. And the main thing is I get ahead, and everyone else has to suffer. So, yeah.
That's a big mindset in the today's time.
But it's the same thing with poverty and problems that we have in Germany. There's always this thing, like in every country that's like a first world country, you have this whole idea of like helping the people that don't have drinking water, you know. And I ran into a friend of the family today, and he's like, you know, man, no big deal, just the mask, whatever. It's like we don't have to, you know, we don't have to be so mad about the world. We got it. We're doing fine, you know. Other people are drinking water with gas in it or whatever, you know, and we're drinking clear water straight out of the tap. And there's this whole idea of like, well, how can I? Am I gonna send the food, like when I don't eat the food off my plate? You know, are you gonna send it to them?
Yeah,
you gonna send it to Africa? How are you gonna help these people? What's the direct connection there?
Huh?
And the direct connection would be get your passport in the United States and vote Germany and vote for people that will change the laws, that will take care of that, you know, and create the system that will help us all move the needle a little bit more in the direction of everyone having clean water, whatever that may be. But there's this whole problem that we have in us. It's built into us, is this tribalism, right? We have like this thing that we want to take care of our own.
German, there's
it's not just even German.
A Sprichwort, a phrase, you have to sweep on your own front door before you can care about other stuff.
Which is also true. Like this whole problem with the there's a whole like double-edged sword.
Yeah, double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's like you know, how much can you care about other people? You got to take care of your own. Well, okay, everything's working fine. You know, how am I going to reach outside of that circle and go to the next level?
And if today's time, you can only reach stuff with money. So in some way, if you
got to have money.
Yeah, you will have to maybe sell this shitty product to get the money you need to help the people
and
sold it to.
Like, if you're gonna eat that shit anyway, man, like you're beyond helping anyway.
Yeah.
but it sucks because you're like doing your part to
trying to help.
No, you like you're doing your part to not help, in a sense, because you know what I'm saying, like if you make the product, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like
if you use the money if you use the money to help people, then that's a double-edged sword. Sword.
Yeah, and I was listening to Sam Harris. Sam Harris is like, I'm a big fan of this guy, so he's kind of getting on to me right now. Like I've been following him up, and he's definitely a philosopher, but he has this thing that he said about, and that just keeps sticking with me. It talks about these commercials when you want to help the children in Africa. They show a commercial of one girl. Well, let's say you're in the market. It's, again, he said it like you're in the marketing department of the nonprofit organization, and the marketing studies showed, without a doubt, that like the amount of money that the consumers are willing to give out for the picture of the girl is, say, $10. So if that picture is of a picture of the girl and her brother, it's $8.
So
something happens, and then the more people you add to that picture, so you have a picture of the family, the lower the consumers are willing to give their money. The money goes down to $1. The more people are on this picture.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so it just makes me think that has directly to do with some deep tribal connection that you have with taking care of your own, and the further you get out of that circle, the less you care about it. But then on a global scale, when we talk about Africa, and it's like everyone cares, you know, but when it comes down to doing something, you don't care. Because if you did care, the money would go up. The more people.
You care for the suffering, but
no, you know, it's probably because when you see that girl, it reminds you of your daughter.
I've thought like one person, one little poor girl, and if the brother comes to that, the people might be like, you still got your brother. I mean, not that they say it, but it's this.
I can see that too. I can see that too.
Impulse you get from your brain without even knowing.
It's like, man, she's got a brother. She can't be doing that bad. He should go get the $1. I'll give her 8. He'd probably get the other 2.
It's hard to say it like that, but maybe
so my idea was that I think it was actually what he said too was kind of more like, well, you have like the more that one girl relates more to your own situation. So you're thinking about yourself when you're doing that, and you're thinking about, what am I getting out of this? And what I get out of this is I'm helping someone that, like, I could feel that could be my daughter in that situation. It's the same thing when you say you talk to a telecom woman on the phone about your cell phone and you have the mom on the phone. You get way further along with her than you do when you get along with a dude on the phone. It's like you relate to it more. You have more of a connection to that single daughter, that girl. Even if it's, I wonder if it's just a boy, if that even switches it up, because it's just statistically whatever.
If it, with 2 little girls and
well, just one boy or one girl, like I wonder which one goes there. Like, would the boy even have less because the girl brings more sympathy because she's even more helpless than a boy would be?
Yeah.
You know, but what it shows you is that it's not rational at all. Like there's no. That's kind of what the thing that.
And that's pretty hard truth.
Yeah, and the thing about this hedonic treadmill that interests me is as a culture we tend to, we're on this hedonic treadmill, and what we do to keep the thing going is we consume. So if we fill this hole, this gap, this feeling of, this natural feeling of not being satisfied, because it's what got us out of the cave, and is filled with consuming goods. So especially when the sun comes out, I don't know. I was talking to my wife about that. I was trying to figure out, I'm getting it. The birds are twitching and everything's cool, and you get this whole feeling, but it's like kind of like, I want to buy a fucking car or something.
That's true.
People buy, like, it's proven that people buy more cars in the summer. Because you're like out there and you're doing it. It's like the world is open again.
I can see myself.
I'm going to consume shit.
Not buying a car, but not buying a car.
But could you see yourself kind of like buying more stuff than in the winter?
Because your mood is better.
You're in a better mood. It's like, let's do this. Oh, I feel like that shirt looks nice. I'm going to get that shirt.
Yeah, because you're already in this vibe. When I'm in winter, maybe.
Who cares?
I don't need that.
It's dark and no one sees me anyway. No, but I mean. I think it's interesting to be aware of that. It's the first time that I've heard it in that sense, and I've actually been able to blame. It's a way of me. It's so cool because I'm like, cool, now I can like blame my humanness. I can blame it on being human. You know, I can be like, oh, okay. So the reason I want to, like, I'm literally looking for motorcycles on this. I just sold my motorcycle last year, and I'm literally like, I just like, I had a few minutes just to, whatever I'm doing. It's just in between times, like where you're just sitting on the toilet probably, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing, dude?
Yeah, that's with new clothes. When I catch myself on a website and then, bro, you don't need that.
Yeah.
But you realize it like half an hour, 20 minutes
and
after you started getting sucked into the.
Yeah, and it's just us trying to fill this need to be it, like there's some connection that makes you happy.
Yeah, of course, new stuff makes you happy.
Why though? Because of the hedonic treadmill.
Oh, it's new, and it's something new.
Yeah.
Or
even to the point where like when you do something like Franzi said that too. She's like, why would you move to Germany? It's like, well, yeah, it's new. It's like, I want to try something else. That's cool. I get that. It's challenging. It's like a new challenge, and you try it and you make it work, and that's a positive thing. But the whole consume thing just feels like a just brings it doesn't bring you anywhere. Yeah. You're like, you have that thing and it's cool for like, and it's exactly like what they said. It's like, it's cool for like a little bit and then like it doesn't matter anymore.
Then the reality kicks in and all the facts about why did I buy it.
Yeah, or not even, but then it's like, well, I'm not going to send it back now. I already got it and it's cool. Like,
that's a big manko about myself too.
Yeah. Like, well, I got it. I'm not going to send it back. I mean, I like it enough to keep it.
No, I have this friend who could fit in it. Here, take it. I'm too foul. Too lazy to send it back.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not that. I send shit back, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing, and I'm onto this whole Sam Harris guy. Got his app Waking Up, and it's he does a meditation on there, but he also has like this thing about stoicism on there, and there's different types of philosophy stuff, and his style of conversation is fantastic, and he talks to on his podcast. He also has a podcast, I think it's called Making Sense, and he talks to a lot of interesting guys about stuff, and it's such a cool. It's so cool to hear like two people that are both educated talk, because then they challenge each other in a friendly way. It's something to work towards in this podcast. Like, I'm thinking the next level is when we get people invited in here and we get some people talking, like to just sit there on my side and just be like, kind of just like I want to be the young person, you know. I want to invite older people and I just want to listen, you know. Just be like, just everyone that I invite here should just be older and smarter than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
that would be great.
What I took from the early episodes when we had some different guests, the whole thing about people itself, how they talk, how you see the not intelligence, but how you find out if you can be part of a conversation with that person longer than 10 minutes. Yeah. I mean, it's a challenge. You have to kind of be, you don't have to be on their level, but you have to be enough on their level to give them enough. Yeah. So they don't have to be like, but even that's not even true though, because I listen to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan sometimes, like, I know more than him. Like, in a lot of areas I don't. There's a lot of things I don't know more than him. Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, but I think sometimes maybe he does know, but he just pretends that even if he does know, he'll play it like he doesn't know, so that the people have a chance to explain it. You know, it's a really good technique. Like, I think he might even know exactly what the person means, but he'll be like, wait a minute, explain that again. You know, which is just a really good quality. So anyway, I'm rambling. That's what I'm on it. I wrote a couple letters to a couple people here locally, see if we get some fresh blood in here. It's going to be in German. It's going to have to be, because in English we've got possibly who's the dude? 20 William Jackson William,
something like that. Yeah.
Has been a monk for 20 years.
He's been a monk for 20 years. That'd be crazy.
And has about psychology,
yeah.
Psychology degree in. Okay, I would have to lie if I say Harvard, but he went to Harvard and studied something. Yeah. And he met
the Dalai Lama
who worked for the Dalai Lama, I think. Yeah. Or he met the Dalai Lama and met a dude who worked for Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Interesting guy. And we got contact with him, and he'd be down for an interview, so I just have to kind of talk to him. So the only issue is that when we have to look at the time issues. Like, everyone that I found out so far, they're on the East Coast or West Coast, and we have like the exact polar opposite timing. Like, we'd have to be up at like 3 a.m. to do some of these interviews, you know. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, as much as I want to do that, 3 a.m. sucks balls, you know. That I got like a family, and I got to get up, and I get up at like 4:30 in the morning just for myself. But I couldn't imagine getting up at like 2 just to be here by 3 to, you know.
That would be
so. We're working on that, but the German thing should be easier. Obviously, like Great Britain, stuff like that. We should just maybe look for more Great Britain area, so that we have English speaking guests that are close to the same time zone, at least, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's in the pipeline. We're working on it. Sorry for the big break. We did what we had to do.
Break.
We'll keep on the roll.
Keep on the roll.
So you want to do a little outro music for us today,
Yeah.
Eric? All right. We're saying goodbye for now. Peace and love. Stay safe. Stay strong. Don't get fat.
The sun is coming out. Work out.
Like this. Ciao.